What is up, guys? Lane Anderson here with the Coat Lab. Looking like Ricky Bobby, don't know what to do with my hands. But got a Ford Explorer. I'm used to holding the camera, so that's why I don't know what to do with my hands. Doing a Ford Explorer though, right behind us. Just gonna be doing the bumper on this. I've already done the hood. They're only looking to do the bumper. I said I would go ahead and throw in the headlights for them. I just kind of wanted to do a learning video showing you kind of what's this process that we do over here at the Coat Lab. But with that being said, just wanted to do an informational quick video on this, how to install a kit, what's some tips and tricks that I use. But let's go ahead, wash this front end. We're just going to be washing off the front end. I don't want to go too deep into giving this whole thing. You don't have to do a full vehicle wash to do a bumper install. Just make sure that the bumper is washed and prepped and that at least the front clip is washed. And so that's what we'll do. We'll wash the hood, fenders, headlights, just so we can make sure that the front bumper is clean. And then we'll do the install. Riveted in, so we probably won't. When I'm hitting this, I'm going to make sure I spray the cracks and make sure that all the dirt is flushed out before I go ahead and do this install. So that's what we're doing now. Making sure that there's no dirt on the vehicle and then around this install area, and then making sure that there's no dirt sitting inside those crevices. So if you see me getting a little close with the power hose nose, just know that I'm trying to clean all that dirt out. Let's rinse this thing off and let's go ahead, blow dry it, and then we'll pull it over to the install area to get this thing installed. So I don't know if we can see this, but y'all see that line right there? Here, when you hit this light, you can kind of see it. But yeah, so we've already done the standard hood on this car. We're going to be doing the rest of the bumper. They didn't want it before, but now they see how great the film is and how good it looks on the vehicle. And they're like, yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get the bumper protected. They didn't say anything about the headlights, but we're gonna throw those in for them. I'm doing this. There's no pretty way to get it done. As long as the film doesn't touch the ground. I mean, it can touch the ground, you can rinse it off, but you want it to not touch the ground at all costs, just because guys, if you have a prettier way of doing it, comment, you know? And so I kind of go to a spot that's flat and has a couple of different angles to get my kit lined up, just because you want to make sure that you're going to line it up on something that has minimal stretch. It just like, it's already placed to go there, you know what I'm saying? So that whenever you do stretch it to those other areas, it lines up properly. To whereas if you had to stretch from the get-go, you could have overstretched, you could have understretched, and then it's just not going to line up properly. So I always start from a spot that needs a couple of different areas, you know, lined up right off the bat. So now I'm gonna go top first and then bottom. And I always use a lot of alcohol and a lot of slip solution, guys. Slip solution is your friend if you're not good at this. If you're just learning, use slip. It will save you. It'll save you. But you also want to make sure that your stuff is nice and packed before you move on. Sometimes it's good to have a heat gun while you're doing the install, which I might do that just because I'm solo dolo today. If you squeegee out enough water from the area and you're just trying to get a nice stick from the film, you just want it to stick in one place, it's okay to heat it as you go. Now this area is going to be locked in. We don't have to worry about any stretch, you know, pulling it up or whatever. Alright, so what we're going to do right here, I kind of like stretching this middle area. First, it just kind of like gives the film like an area of, okay, hey, this is how far we need to stretch to the outside, and then this will kind of fall into place, and that'll kind of fall into place. I don't know, you could do the top. Sometimes it's easier to work this top one first. It might line up better for you. But just with my past experience, sometimes that middle, like on a Model Y, I stretch the middle first. On this bumper, you might want to stretch the top first. On a Model Y though, if you know, you know. I'm going to spray a little bit more alcohol just because it's not sticking the way I want it to. It should be able to stick after my hand sits there for a couple of seconds. And guys, I'm always trying to make sure that every squeegee, you know, I'm pushing that water out. See how those bubbles like to come back? They'll hold water for weeks. And in this Texas sun, as soon as that sun comes out, it starts to bake it. It'll highlight so bad, and then you'll get a weird bubble or a hard outline of a bubble. And trust me, you don't want to replace a piece just because of a hard outline on a bubble. Guys, sometimes you need your hand. You know, sometimes you need your hand to push and hold something while you're squeegeeing out the water. Sometimes it's helpful to have the microfiber squeegee so that once you push that water out, you can kind of hold it there and get all the water collected. Like in this pocket right here, it just keeps refilling with water. I can kind of work that out and dry that out with how many times I push with my squeegee and kind of get that thing down. And then that way you know, it dries out quicker, less time for something to kind of work its way down in there. Guys, dirt is always your enemy. You want to make sure that, I mean, you see I'm trying to looking it over and I'm taking my time, but you also want to be quick with it in a sense. Like, you don't want to just sit here and go do something else for, you know, 5-10 minutes and then come back. You want to make sure that once you start a piece, you finish it all the way through. You're looking it down, you're looking it over, you're wiping it down as you go. And so I haven't really used the heat gun. Sometimes I just use the heat gun just to kind of stick stuff there, make sure that it's stuck, you know. So guys, just make sure you go over your work as soon as you do a section. Make sure it all looks good. If you're happy with it, then you should be, I mean, you should be good. You should know what a good install and a bad install is, and if you don't, well, people also ask, is this, you know, is Ppf easier to do than vinyl? To me, yes, but to a vinyl installer, probably not. And the only reason, and I'm not saying vinyl installers can't do this. You can. You probably have, probably tried before. It's just different. It's a different animal, you know. I got lucky, learned Ppf before vinyl, and then I just took what I do from Ppf and applied it to vinyl. So, and vice versa, vinyl guys can do the same thing. We'll start off with mirrors, headlights, get your feet wet, practice multiple times. Use your own car. If you're gonna say you know how to do Ppf and then cut on someone's car and not know what you're doing, that could be a pretty big mistake. So on this side, I'm gonna try stretching to that top edge. It might be easier. And see, that middle lined up perfect. So we could have definitely went from, you know, top to bottom on this side or on the other side, but sometimes like on the Tesla Model Y and stuff like that, I would just rather stretch to the middle or to the top. My personal preference. You guys do it how you want. I showed you 2 ways to do it. When I say stretch to the middle, I mean either stretch here for the initial tack and then stretch here and here, or stretch here, here, and then to here. So, your call. See, my hand's gonna hold it down, and I'm gonna kind of just slowly work this area to where there's no more water. Go. Alrighty guys, so what I'm gonna do is go over everything, make sure it's all looking good. I still have this little area that I need to trim up, but that's gonna be it for this tips and tricks install video. I will show you guys the finished results. You pretty much saw everything. I mean, if I missed something, leave it in the comments, guys. If you want to see how I did something, want me to talk it through again, I can do that, guys. Just please comment, like, subscribe. I'll show you the end result right now. Enjoy, guys.